Welcome everybody for today's webinar about how to file your tax return with taxx.lu. Let me present myself very quickly. My name is Patrick Malgi. I'm co-founder of taxx.lu, the website that exists since 2018 that helps everyone to file their tax return in Luxembourg in the most easiest way possible. So what's on the menu today? We will see at first what deductions you can claim on your Luxembourg tax return. And we will tell you where you can find the certificates or the documents you need to do so, because it is important to know what deductions are possible so you pay the less taxes possible as well. And then we will do together a tax return on taxx.lu to show you how straightforward and easy this is. So what are those tax deductions on the Luxembourg tax return and what tax certificates you need? Basically, we could say that on the Luxembourg tax return, there are three main categories of deductions. The first ones are called special expenses. Then we have what is called allowances. And at the end, we have deductions related to real estate or to your main residency. So for the special expenses, you have the interests on personal loans, insurance premiums that you pay, contributions to private pension plans or home savings plans, but also donations. And allowances you can deduct basically childcare expenses or domestic help expenses. We also have this category what is called extraordinary expenses. As the name says, it's more extraordinary. And you can also deduct, for example, mortgage interests, but also notary and bank fees when you're opening up a mortgage. And for the mortgage interests, there are huge changes for 2024. That are in your favor. So we will go through those different deductions together. And what we'll also see are the maximum deductible limits. You have to know that for every deduction on the Luxembourg tax return, there are maximum deductible limits, and most currently they are based on the number of persons in your household. So, for example, here the interest expenses on loans, on personal loans, on insurance premiums are capped at 672 euros per family member living in your household. So, a couple with 2 kids can deduct a maximum of 2,688 euros in this category. So on one hand, we have the interest you are paying on a personal loan, like, for example, a car loan, but also credit card interests if you have paid any, or overdraft interests on your bank account if you have been below 0 on those. Then on the other hand, you have insurance premiums that are deductible. The most popular deduction here is the civil liability insurance for your car, but you could also deduct life insurance or private healthcare insurance in this category. Where can you get the certificates? But basically, if you are with a Luxembourg insurance company, they will provide you with those certificates, and they will mention on those certificates the exact amount that you can deduct. So maybe you have gotten those certificates by post on paper, but most insurance companies now, they ask you to connect to their platforms on the internet where you can find those certificates and download them. It's the same for the bank statements for your personal loans and the interest you are paying on those. You can just download them on your web banking if your bank has not sent them to you on paper. Normally you find this on the web banking under documents, and there you can download what you need for your tax return. Then you can also deduct in Luxembourg home savings plans. Home savings plans is basically kind of a savings account that allows you to save up money for your home, for your main residency. You can use this money after 10 years to buy, to build, to renovate, or to pay off a mortgage. Maximum deduction here is 672 euros per family member living in the household, and this amount is doubled if one of the parents is less than 41 years old. So a couple in this example can deduct a maximum of 5,376 euros per year on the tax return. In Luxembourg, there are 3 home savings banks. And all the Luxembourgish banks are working with those. So basically, there was Schwäbisch Hall. They closed the activity in Luxembourg, But if you still have a contract with them, then you will receive a certificate as well from Schwäbisch Hall. So right now, if you want to open up a new contract for home savings plan, it's Wüstenrot or BHW, and they will send you normally end of January, start of February, a certificate with your contributions. If interested in getting more information about all those deductions we are talking about, you can get in touch with us at taxx. We are partners with Wüstenrot and with Lalux, and we can advise you on what products make sense in your personal situation, and we can help you to subscribe to those. Then private pension plans, there you can deduct a maximum of 3,200 per person. So a couple, has to be important here, per adult person in the household. So the kids are not involved to determine the maximum deductible amount. So here a couple with 2 kids, they can deduct 2 times 3,200 euros. So a total of 6,400. Private pension plans, what is important to know is those contracts have a minimum duration of 10 years, and you can earliest access the money at age 60. However, it makes sense to think about private pension plans. There's a lot going on about the public pension system in Luxembourg. There will be probably reforms. So it's good to prepare yourself as well with a private pension plan. Just reach out to us. We can help you setting one up. If you have such a private pension plan with a Luxembourg bank or an insurance company, they will provide you with a certificate for your tax return. You can, or they will send it to you on paper, but mostly you have to connect to their websites, to the web banking, and download them in order to add them later to your tax return. You can also deduct donations to recognized non-profit organizations. Can be here in Luxembourg, can also be abroad, but it has to be a recognized NGO by the state where this NGO is located. And in order to deduct a donation, it must exceed in total 120 euros. So basically, if you have done 2 donations of 60 euros each, 120 in total, you can deduct those on the tax return. If you have done 1 donation of 100 euros, that one won't be deductible because you don't exceed the 120 euro in total that you need to. There's also maximum is 1 million euros and less than 20% of your net income. If you have done donations to Luxembourg NGO, normally they will send you a paper or PDF by email with more information about your donations. If you have none of them, you can also add a bank statement of the donations you have done. Important that it's clearly shown who is the beneficiary of this donation. Then you can deduct on the tax return what is called frais de domesticité. Basically, here the normal maximum is 5,400 euros, but in some circumstances you can also deduct more. If you can deduct more, this depends on your personal situation, so on your tax class, on number of kids in your household, so it's and also your income. On taxx.lu, you just add the total expenses that you had, and the system will automatically detect if you can deduct more or not than the 5,400. In this category, you have, for example, cleaning expenses. If you have hired someone at home and you declared this person at CCSS, so the social contribution system in Luxembourg, you can deduct this on the tax return. Or if you have a cleaning company that is cleaning your home, those invoices are also deductible in this section. On the other hand, you have childcare expenses, like, for example, crèches. If you're paying for a crèche, you can deduct this in this section as well. Or if you have fees at the Maison Relais, so it's at the public school, those are normally free during a non-holiday season, but during holiday season, you have to pay for those Maison Relais, and you can deduct it as well in this category. So for crèche Maison Relais, on the left, you see an example of a tax certificate. Some crèches are sending you this on their own. If not, ask them to get a certificate for your tax return. They will know what you are talking about. And on the other hand, we have certificates. For example, this is cleaning stuff that you hired for home cleaning. There, CCSS will send you a paper with the amount you can add on your tax return. If you are with a cleaning company that is invoicing their services, you can also ask this cleaning company to send you a certificate, or worst case, you can add bank statements where it's clearly shown what you paid for and that is related to the cleaning of your home. Then extraordinary expenses, as the name says, it's extraordinary. And in order to deduct those on your tax return, you have to exceed a certain minimum amount. This minimum amount is calculated based on your tax class, number of kids, and your income. On taxx.lu, this is calculated automatically. So during the process, you will see what is the minimum that you have to exceed in order to have a deduction here. What is included here, for example, non-reimbursed medical expenses. So if you have not been reimbursed 100% by CNS, so the public healthcare system, nor by a private healthcare insurance, then you could claim those deductions. Here, the same, for example, if you're sending money to family members, for example, to your parents who are living in a country where they basically need this money to for their living because they don't have any pension income, for example, then you could also try to deduct those here. And the same for lawyer fees if you have trouble with, I don't know, your neighbor, or lawyer fees for a divorce, or funeral expenses can be deducted in this category if they exceed a certain amount of money. Then real estate deductions. Most important change here since 2024, you can deduct the interest you're paying on a mortgage loan. The 2 first years of availability date of your home. So for new construction, for example, this is when you can move in. And if you are buying something existing, that could be where you could move in right away. The date of availability, it's a date at the notary. So the first 2 years in that term, you could deduct the interest without any maximum deductible limit. So that can be a lot, knowing the interest rates right now, even if they are going down. But with real estate prices in Luxembourg, if you have a mortgage for 1 million euros with 4% interest rate, then you could deduct here around 40,000 euros on the tax return. The next 4 years, it will be 4,000 euros per person. The next 5 years, 3,000 euros per person in the household. And after 11 years, it will be 2,000 euros per person in the household. So here an example, if you moved in last year in 2024, for the tax return 2024 and 25, no cap, so you can deduct all your interests paid on your mortgage. And years after, it will be capped at 4,000, 3,000, or 2,000 per person. You can find more information on taxx.lu under webinars. A few weeks ago, we had a webinar just about real estate and those changes on the Luxembourg tax return. What certificates do you need here? But basically, the same as for the personal loans on your web banking, you can download the needed certificates, mostly under documents. Just download them there, and on those certificates you can find all the information you need for your tax return. If you are living abroad, so basically if you're a cross-border worker, in Luxembourg you have those standardized tax certificates. Most insurance companies or banks abroad don't have those, except, for example, for Crédit Agricole in France. They are providing you with certificates for the Luxembourg tax return. But basically, if you don't have any certificates, don't add entire contracts to a tax return. Just ask your bank or your insurance company in that country to get a tax certificate. They will know what you're talking about if you tell them that it's for the Luxembourg tax return. So how to file your tax return? Of course, you could complete those 20-page official tax return form, but that's not the goal of our website. So let us do a tax return on taxx.lu together. So what do you need? But at first, you just need an email address so you can create an account. And once you have created an account, you can start a tax return from scratch. Or if you have done last year your tax return on PDF, you could also upload the PDF and start with data that will be taken over from this PDF. So let me just change the language. So everything will be in English. So this here is an existing account. So I have tax returns from the last years. So I have different possibilities. I could import a PDF form from a tax return last year. So my personal data, name of my kids, my address, all this stuff will be imported into the tax return on taxx, and you don't need to do it manually. That's one option. Other option is you can do a copy from last year tax return if you had any on taxx already, or you can start tax return from scratch, an empty one. What we will do here in this webinar, we will just take a tax return from 2020 and import it. So this is a test tax return we just imported. So personal data is already in our tax return here on taxx. We will see it in a minute. You can give a name to your tax return. You can choose the year you want to do the tax return for. We will do 2024. And then, since a few months, we have also two new partners. We have Spurkäse here in Luxembourg and Crédit Agricole de Lorraine in France. If you are a customer of those banks, you can have an advantage of 30% on the price on your tax return. But of course, if you're not a customer of those, you can also use our services. Down here, you have always two buttons, save and continue. You are just clicking on save and continue when you completed one form. So on the next screen, we see already that there's some information that is completed because we imported the PDF from last year. So in this PDF, it was mentioned that we are married and that we have been married in 2014. So we are just continuing. Here you can see the information that comes from this PDF. So name, address, all this stuff. And you can also see that there are two fields that has not been, but that are completed. But basically, the system wants you to confirm that you are born in Luxembourg and that you are an employee. And by saving, those red flags will disappear. Then we have the tax situation. So you see different boxes that are already checked. Those boxes have been checked based on the tax return that we have imported. But of course, if your situation changed, you are just checking the situation that is the right one for your family. So we'll leave it like this. Our household had a salary, we have kids, and we are owning our home, and we have lived in that home. Then you will be on the page AutoScan. AutoScan, basically, it's a tool that allows you to import all your tax certificates, and the system will try to automatically complete your tax return based on these certificates. So this is what we will do now. We will choose PDF files that we had gotten from, for example, our employer. A salary certificate. I will add as well a pension plan from Lux that we downloaded on the Lux website. And I will add a mortgage with Raiffeisen that I downloaded on the web bank. We are saving, and now basically the documents will be uploaded to taxx.lu, and the system will try to recognize the type of the document. If the document is recognized, the system will extract the data on this document and automatically complete your tax return. Here we see two situations. The first one, import successful, says that, okay, there are documents that have been imported automatically, like, for example, the salary certificate or the private pension plan. But there is also one document that is where the system will ask you to classify this document. Which one is it? It's the bank statement from the mortgage. On this paper, there's no clear view that it is a mortgage loan. It could also be a personal loan. So basically, the system will ask you to classify those. we will say that, okay, 188K of debt, this is my home loan. And by doing so and by saving, the system will automatically put this in the right spot. So now it has been automatically imported with the right information. If you have gotten paper certificates, you have the possibility to download the app taxx.lu scanner. And once opening it on your phone, it will ask you to scan a QR code. This QR code is the one you can see here on your tax return. So basically, you just scan this QR code, and then you have two options. You can upload a file from your phone if you have a PDF saved on your phone, or you can just choose to take a picture, and then it's a classical scan app. You just hold your phone for a few seconds over the paper, and automatically it will be important. You don't need to push anything. And we are uploading this picture, and you can see here already that something has been important. And by saving, we see that this document we were just scanning, document has been imported, and it has also been imported successfully. Let's give it another try, because there's a third situation that could be possible. Basically, I will scan a document that is not related to the tax return, just to check what the system will tell us. So we can see here, there's a new document that arrived into the system. We are saving. And basically here, the document is not a tax certificate. So the system will tell us that this document cannot be important. It's unrecognized. Here it is. And the system will ask you to add it on the right spot when continuing in the process. That's what we will do now. We'll just save and continue. And the next form that we will see, it's the salaries. There we can see already that there is data that has been completed. Basically, it's data based on the salary certificate that we have added, that you have gotten from your employer. We can also see that here is a blank spot, and it's a red, it's a red line around. So basically, on those certificates, sometimes there's information that is not on the certificate. So here, the municipality of the place of work. So we are just adding this, saving, and then the red lines will disappear. If you have questions, you can see little eyes here, and by hovering with your mouse over it, there are pop-ups with screenshots, with text, helping you with by giving you more information. But you can also find up here on every form FAQs related to this form. So basically, here are FAQs related to the section salary. And if you have any question and don't find an answer here, you can reach out to our team by chat, and our team can help you answer your questions, basically. We will save and continue. We see here red dots. We will come to those in a minute. Here we are in the children section. Basically, they have been imported based on the PDF that we have imported before. We are saving and continuing. Here we can find the mortgage. The interest have already been imported. Just check the amounts. And then what is needed here, because there has been changes last year, it's basically the acquisition date and the year of availability. We will say that we moved in the same day we bought this, save, and then the system will automatically determine the maximum deductible limits. Special expenses, we can find the private pension plan from Lux with all the needed information already completed. And if you would have added, for example, insurances, you would see them here, but you can also add them manually under this section. And add the certificate, or upload, if you have a paper certificate, upload it here with this button. Allowances, there you would find, for example, the crash, if you had any, and other, there the system tells you, okay, and that's the red dots. Red dots mean that there is something that does not seem correct. Here, for example, the file number from tax administration is not the correct one, because basically it does not respect the scheme of those numbers. So you can just correct them. And also missing here the IBAN number, your bank account number, which is needed for the tax return if you are getting taxes back. Extraordinary expenses. I told you before that you have to be over a certain minimum amount. So here the system automatically calculated this amount. So if you have extraordinary expenses below 6,800, you don't need to mention them here, because basically they won't be deducted. If you have something above this minimum, only the difference between this minimum and the amount will be deductible, and our system will do this automatically on your tax return. Then attachments, you will find all the documents that you have uploaded into your tax return, and you can also add other certificates if you think they are needed. And auto check, basically here you find all those red dots in a list. So basically it's logical tests that are done on your tax return, and the system will show you what does not make sense or where there are some things you need to correct. Like, for example, the file number, as we have seen, does not seem to be the right one. The bank account number is missing. And here we said that the wife in this example is also an employee. However, you have not indicated any salary from this employee. So the system tells you, okay, watch out, haven't you forgotten to add Emma Schmidt's salary? You can click on this link and you will be on the page salaries. Here you can find the salary for the husband, and you can add below Emma Schmidt's salary as well. At the end of the process, the system will calculate automatically the estimated tax refund or the estimated taxes due. And up to here, it's all free. So basically, if you just want to simulate a tax return, you can do so. But if you want to download the completed official tax return form, then you have to pay. And here the standard price is 59 euros for your tax return. So the Form 100 or the Form 163, based on your situation. There will be one PDF available with including all the certificates that you have uploaded, but also if the system has done calculations for your tax return, those calculations will also be shown in these annexes. So the tax administration people will understand where those amounts are coming from. And of course, you also have a personalized tax optimization analysis. We are coming to this in a minute. Then you have also the Plus package for 99 euros. This basically includes a verification by our experts. So our experts will check your tax return manually and check if everything is correct, if everything seems to be completed. And if so, we will contact you by email, and then you can download your tax return. And if not, we are getting back to you and ask more information. On top of this, you also have the verification of your tax statement, meaning that if this amount is different from the one that tax administration will calculate, then our team can check where this difference is coming from. And if tax administration has done an error, then we can help you to get the money that they owe you. And for the premium, for 149 euros, it basically includes a video call with one of our experts to discuss your personal situation and to go through your tax return. You can pay by credit card, and afterwards you can download your completed official tax return and upload it on My Guichet if you have a Lux Trust, or print it out, sign it, and send it to tax administration. On top of this, on top of the tax return, you are also getting an analysis of your tax optimization potential. So for this family, they could lower down their taxes by 4,821 euros per year. The system is calculating what we call an OptiScore, Basically, if this score is 0, it means that you have deducted nothing at all on your tax return. If it's 100, you have hit all the maximum deductible limits. In this situation, 22 says that there is a huge potential to lower down taxes. And you can find out more. So basically here you can save 1,370 euros in taxes with a private pension plan, but you also have information about insurances and home savings plans. And you can book a free call with our team, so we can go through a situation and help you to subscribe to the right products in your personal situation. So that's it, basically, for this webinar. On our website, taxx.lu, you can find a lot more information about taxation in Luxembourg. We have articles, we have FAQs, we have different webinars. You can also find different simulators that can help you to have a better overview and answer your questions. We have more information about tax optimization options, and basically we are here to help you to do your tax return in the most easiest way. Don't hesitate to contact our team by chat if you have any questions, and don't wait until the last day of the year to do your tax return, especially not if you can claim some taxes back. Thank you for your attention. I hope this was a useful webinar, and have fun doing your tax return with taxx.lu. Thank you.